Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to a live fan film reaction brought to you by NerdTube for Crossroads, A Question of Balance. This is a fan film done by a friend of the channel, Frank. Can't talk. And FilkFerrett Productions. I'm eating my soft pretzel with my cheese. I am joined, of course, by the Stan Lee of fan films himself. Down where? Down there. It's V-Man. How you doing?
Oh, finer than frog here, my friend. Glad to be here.
I'm looking forward to reacting to this one. I always get excited for this. I've been really busy the past couple days, so I'm really I'm really gagging to get back into it. And then down below him is the Major Tola of rock and rolla, Major Rage. How you doing?
Doing great. Proud to be here as always.
So we got about 9 minutes, 8 minutes left until this bad boy starts. So you guys if you guys want to share anything, Mage, I know you've been joining us for some fan films. What's your? But I don't know if we've ever really, have you ever seen any of Vance's fan films? Have you come across them? Are you, have you seen many fan films at all of Star Trek Origin?
Fan films aren't something that I've usually engaged with. I have heard of these guys, but I don't think I've ever really watched any. From what I've been getting into doing reactions here with you guys on the channel, though, I'm starting to realize that I've been missing out some. And I've been going to the backlog of the channel reviews and realizing that more and more. So I'm looking forward to getting more into enjoying fan films moving forward.
You know what? There's some definitely untapped potential out there. That's for darn sure. Vance is Vance is a great writer. I love V-Man down here. I love a lot of his work that he writes. He does. I don't want to say character studies. That's not really the right word, but he does a really good job at taking a character and unfolding it right before your very eyes.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing. Like with this one, we had, because I've got up through on Crossroads. Frank had the initial pilot, and I watched it, and it kind of reminded me of kind of how your typical fan film felt like, where every fan film kind of feels the same, where the crew all have their generic mission and they kind of go forward and whatnot, but I felt with some of the characters, I was like, I could take this, and this is my impression of the character, and I could take this, and this is my impression of this character, and we sat, we kind of talked, and I was like, I'd love to just write for you. Like, this is where I see the characters going. Where do you see the characters going? And so we kind of spitballed back and forth, and then I just did what I did and wrote, and I came up with eight different scripts, very much serialized for, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, episode 5. And he loved what I came up with. And it was very much focusing on, the relationships between the characters, on getting to know them. Because it's like, realistically, we don't have a budget for, huge fight scenes. We're never going to be that type of show. Or if we do, it's going to be far, far later after we've earned that. Far too many people, they tell their one fan film and they have a huge explosion fest, but those moments aren't earned. But for me, it's like, once you get to know all of the characters and you take the time to get there, by the time you have the battle-ridden, explosions and you do have characters that die, the death means something. I'd rather get to know the characters, and so by the time someone fucking dies, or they get electrocuted, or they lose a leg, or whatever happened, like, it means something because you know them. And that's kind of like when you go to DS9 and Jadzia dies. That meant something because we loved her. Or when Nog lost his leg, it meant something to us. We fucking loved those characters,
My two favorite characters on DS9, and they killed one off, and then they lopped off the other one's leg. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I dare not have any more favorites.
Right. But that's part of the beauty about doing fan films is you can take a segment of, like, say, like take Break Free, for instance. You know, we looked at Wolf 359, and I really wanted to have kind of a Battlestar Galactica-esque moment and say, what if we don't, you know, let's take this one moment and kind of freeze frame it. We don't know what happens to Earth. We don't know if we're assimilated by the Borg. We don't have a Starfleet at this moment. Let's take a moment with the crew, breathe, and let that moment sink in, because what happens if everything falls apart? And that's very much how they were in Battlestar Galactica. And let's sit with the Starfleet officers. What happens if we're the ship that has to pick up all these survivors of the battle? And it's, you know, everyone's kind of left wondering, going, what now? You know, and that's what fan films allows. And you have to be kind of clever with how do you tell those stories when you don't have any money, you know? So
I just want to say before we move on, in the description, there is a link for the premiering fan film. You can do it one of two ways. I would much appreciate it if at the very least you go and watch the fan film on their page, show them some support with the analytics, get another viewer on there. And then if you want, either, you know, mute it and come back to us, or just stay over there. And then if you come back here after the fan film is over, we will be discussing the fan film and everything like that. And, you know, maybe taking Admiral Grissom, Captain Grissom, whichever one we have here. I don't know. Commodore Grissom? Is
Commodore Grissom? Yeah,
Commodore Grissom in this one. So
we switch between Commodore or Admiral, like whichever one we're like, this feels good at the moment. So it's, you know, whatever we decide to call them at the moment. So
yeah. So, but definitely we want to show the original creator all the support we can, and definitely give them a like. Definitely subscribe. This is on No Budget Productions. So, you know, when you go to the link, you'll be able to definitely support them there. We love those guys over there. And I'm not sucking up just because one of the owners is right down here. But, okay. And I think, hold on one second. Hey, Frank, do you want us to bring you in now, or you want us to bring you in after it's over?
You can bring me in now.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll bring you up here just because, you know, you're the man of the hour.
Yeah, I want to be able to say things to people in the other one. That's when I'm.
No, you do whatever you need to do. This is your premiere, man. You got fans that are going to have questions in the chat, so you just ignore us. We're just going to sit here and, you know, be our normal dumb selves.
I'm being my normal dumb self, and here I am.
And don't worry, Frank. I already said we're gonna keep our normal comments to a minimal.
Producers for CROSSROADS.
There we go.
I think we got an echo back there somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah. How loud is that? Is that too loud, you guys, or is that good?
Nope. Good for me.
All I know is that I better see the wig in this episode.
It'll show up in one of these films, trust me, and I'll let you know. Hey, do this one.
We could make Frank like a Q, and he could like flash on the hair off and on. Here we go.
Oh man.
You got echo in the background.
No, you don't.
Oh, I didn't know if that was me or.
It was definitely me.
Just remember, Frank, if we don't enjoy this, we get our money back, right?
right. You can smack the writer.
Smack the writer. Oh. There's that beauty shot. How do I get rid of this? Hide that.
There's a ship right there.
Oh, it's a bunch of crap. Oh,
What, that little tugboat over there? What are you talking about?
What? Should be the flagship is what you're talking about.
yeah. Play football.
Frank, these are
Adam
some
Mullen.
good shots.
Adam Mullen did the theme for this. I think Adam always does good work no matter what. He's worked on some Avalon. He's done this. He's worked for me. He does great work no matter what he works on.
I love the Star Trek 6 shot you guys had there. That's so great.
Now this shot's done by Dan Braylon, who he's kind of an up and comer CGI guy who's been doing some fan film stuff for us. Really good guy.
Man, that's like the sports version of the sports souped up shuttle.
I like that. I'm having him continue that. I'm going to have Lee make me one specifically for the Harrison. Well, the upgrades look pretty good, but is she ready for the task at hand?
Relax. Paris 3 is only a short trip away. What's worse that could go wrong?
You know, every doomed mission starts off with that phrase, right?
Calm down. The Columbia is right around the corner if we need her.
Hey, look, she's not the only ship around the corner. Give me a call if needed, okay?
Sam, you worry too much, man. If I worried half as much as you do, I'd have your hairline.
Well, aren't you getting that way yourself?
I can tell who wrote this.
Right?
Push it, Commodore. Otherwise, you'll be needing the distress call. But, in all honesty, it'll be good to be back in space.
You're telling me.
Anything on your mind you want to talk about?
Actually, nothing offhand. I've been away too long from this life. I'm glad to be back in it.
You needed to take the time for yourself, to recharge and come back. Everybody goes through a crisis of faith at some point. Believe me, I've been there myself numerous times.
You? That's weird. You've always known what you wanted and gone after it. So what happened? What changed you?
I thought I wanted to be the hero of frontier medicine, healing people out here in the vastness of space. I wanted to do everything I could to help as many people as I could. I thought I wanted to be a hero with a statue, honoring how many people I had saved, how many lives I had changed. I wanted a med school named after me. But in the end,
Well, I'm glad we made it out the other side. Better for it.
Sam, trust me, ever lose your spark.
Likewise, my friend.
All right, I get it. I'm getting down off my soapbox now. I've got a long day tomorrow setting up a sick bay. But if you ever need me, anytime, just go ahead and bug me on the comms.
Do they have soapboxes
All
in the
right,
22nd century?
Todd out.
Shenanigan.
Some terms of phrase will
Doc, I really
always.
appreciate reaching out like this. I'm just not sure what to do.
To be honest, separation anxiety is commonplace at his age.
I'm just not used to my son lying to me.
That's why I felt you needed to hear it sooner rather than later.
Like I said, I appreciate it, Doc. Thought Michelle and I could work through this divorce without any damage coming to him, but
That would be the exception, not usually the case.
just glad no one was in your office when his little prank went off.
Well, I trust it won't be next time. Then we'll keep this off his record. Nicholas out.
Oh, trouble in paradise?
Yeah, you could say that.
What happened?
Johnny and his friends decided to reprogram the cleaning microbes with adhesives.
Ouch and wonderful.
Yeah, he's been playing innocent for days now. I had talked to him before we left while I was packing. Thought everything was handled, but
So why Nicholas?
yeah, so you remember the field trip they went to the base? Yeah, so Dr. Nicholas reprimanded Johnny, and this is Johnny's way of getting back at him.
You know, if that kid could ever put his mind to something constructive,
No, I know. We might actually get transport figured out.
don't give Elberg any new ideas. We have enough wild goose cases on that subject, right, as we are.
Right. You know, sometimes I'm just a little too work oriented.
You can stay home if you want. I mean, you've always said that you'd like to be able to spend time with the family.
You know, I appreciate that, but honestly, I think Michelle and Johnny are better off with me away. I just seem to cause them nothing but pain. Commodore, I appreciate it, but really, I just need a moment.
Oh, sure. Put up a wall. You're one of the funniest people I know, and you read people like a hawk.
Yeah, I'm sensing a butt.
Damn, Commodore.
Becomes the reality. And if you let it become reality, it's going to destroy you.
And speaking from experience here,
Hey, you saw that firsthand. But we all have a job to do here. And eventually, just eventually, you're going to have to go home and face it. Michelle, Johnny, whatever is causing that pain, you are going to have to make that right yourself.
and speaking of Albert,
Mr. Elberg, what can we do for you today?
Just doing my final pass to the Harrison. Tanner's ready to have me out of the engine room.
I can imagine. Tell Holly I'm on my way to rescue her.
I certainly will, sir.
I really appreciate the work that you've been doing for us. I know how sensitive matters can be.
Well, the tensions with the Herons are getting high, so the ship may need to go through some combat.
Well, I hope the Ajax isn't out of her scope.
If that is the case, your ship stands ready.
You know, Mr. Elberg, when you were younger, I found you quite annoying. But you know, as years have gone by, you've turned out pretty good.
Damn,
And I
Commodore.
appreciate what you've done for us.
Gonna make a T-shirt that says that.
For you, Klaus, you just let
Harrison signaling for us to come aboard.
Well, Commander Yeager, we've had enough of this chaos. Let's go get our lives some balance.
Aye, sir.
Oh, good button pushing, Frank. No, I'm serious. Like, you didn't like overdo it. You didn't.
Oh no! I you know, that's the one thing. You just hit a couple buttons because technically,
You, I know when they're going like this in the air, it's like, oh, come on, guys. Like,
I love when they press buttons and their whole body jerks like they're going through a seizure. Like what are you doing? Like why are you pressing buttons like that? You know, come on, Jesus Christ.
I know you're not using a typewriter. You're not documenting a court case. You're what is
like
it?
how
A notary or whatever? Like
how sturdy are these fucking consoles for you to be able to just beat the shit out of it? God damn, calm down. God, like how fast do you want to get there? Like everything's a red alert to these people. Shit, calm down. Calm. So the thing that I enjoy about this movie is it really does talk about like people who are taking on like real world stress, like that are overdoing it. You know, they always throw themselves into their work. Like it starts off with Grissom that is, you know, talking about, you know, stress, having to back away. You know, all of us do that, regardless whether we jockey a register at the gas station or we do a high up exec job somewhere. Like, you know, this whole film is nothing but that, talking to us regular people, because that's what we do. We've going through COVID. Well, hold up. We got an after credits here. One second.
I was just gonna ask, are we waiting on an after credits?
Yeah, we are on that same
Volume.
Oh man, it's bad, Menard.
Of course.
Reach for it.
You know what I love about that scene the most is they were shot, of course, in 2 different locations, and it just melded so well with his trees and our trees.
I couldn't tell it was different location at all.
I just like the fact that I get to shoot. You know, I just get to point a gun at an old, you know, an elder person. You know,
and this is for my mother-in-law, who let us build.
Cool. Yeah, that set, man. I'll tell you what. I've been watching you build that set. I could never do anything like that.
Right, dude. Doesn't that look legit? It looks straight up like something that would be out of TOS. Like if you walked on that set, like it. I mean, everything out of TOS was just basically a you know, what they had just redressed or whatever. But like Frank's stuff, straight up, it looks like you know what you would imagine another ship would look like if they had it. You know.
And the great thing is that it doesn't look like a Enterprise, like an Enterprise set. Like that's what I love about it. It looks different. It looks a little more militaristic because it's kind of a little bit more close quarters. I really like that. So I you know, I almost gave this a 0 out of 5 stars because we didn't see any Menard, but you know.
I figured you were going to get a -0 because you didn't see a wig.
Yeah, right. No, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a good setup for what's to come, from what I can tell. I've been kind of following along with you guys, like what you've been doing and everything like that. And I can't say that I've you know, done the whole binge watch like I should, but I definitely knew what was going on, what you guys were talking about, and where we were heading. I can't wait to see that. I was hoping to see that set in its glory, like in this episode with, you know, crew members and stuff on it. But is that coming up in the next episode?
Next week. If you're
no, we don't have any bridge next week. It's
no. Yeah. I was say bridge isn't next week, but the Red Room, yeah. You'll get to see, yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to see a 360 finally with voice, I just went down and reshot it today. I've always tried that 3 times, and then when I found out there was something going on with my camera, so it was shot and it was this way when I threw it into the editor. So I had to figure out if I could flip it sideways instead of having a portrait upside down all over the place. So
I just like seeing your finger like right in front of your face. I'm feeling a tingle in my pants, Frank. It's, you know, it's.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot. But, you know, It was fun doing it. I'll tell you, one of the greatest things is I really appreciate the writing that Vance does, because I think his writing with our, with our bridge and stuff like that, I really feel it's a knockout combination. It's going to see that way as we continue going on.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I definitely agree. I think you. It's unfortunate that it's like no budget, because you guys, if all you guys like got together, like you guys and Josh and all of you guys got together and you guys were doing like an actual, maybe not syndicated, but like miniseries style shows. I feel like you guys would be like, Trek would basically be in a good place, in my opinion.
Did you watch George's today?
I did not have a chance to see that. No.
That was epic when you talk about bringing a lot of elements together, and of course, the writing was from that. I don't know. That's crazy guy with a beard out there.
Well, the thing that I enjoy, like I was talking about before the after credits came on, was, I mean, I think all of us with the whole COVID thing, regardless of what side of the spectrum you're on, like we all took a hit. I mean, we're all fucking feeling the get back to work, go do the, we all feel the strain of underappreciation. And that's what I wanted to do here, because it's like, I mean, when I'm talking about those characters, and I'm like, well, what's, everything that I put in my writing is like either inspired from real conversations that I've had, or has been kind of lifted of conversations that I've had of like, this is, what would I say in this conversation, or how do I feel about this particular topic? And, we've all felt burned out, especially this past year and a half, 2 years, so when Grissom, I mean, the crisis of faith that we're talking about there, when the doctor says, I used to want statues, I used to want this, I used to want that. Don't lose your spark. Like, we've all felt that way, where we're like, no, I thought this was important, but you know what? I went through the fire, and it's not. We've all felt that way. And then you go over to the other side, where the dude who's very military minded, he's very career minded, and his kid's sitting there playing pranks, just fucking around. And it's one of those things where he's like, maybe they're better off without me. And Grissom has to remind him, he's like, you're one of the funniest guys I know. He's kind of reminding him, don't lose your spark, and it's one of those things where it's like, how many times have we had to remind each other, hey, it's going to be okay. We kind of pick each other up by the bootstraps, and we carry each other on. It's a very different situation for every one of us, but we've all felt that way. And that's what I wanted to put here, without beating someone over the head with, hey, this is kind of a COVID-esque film on our way to a starship, except whatever situation they're in, they're still feeling that same type of pressure, because it's a very human response, regardless of whatever you're going through, So I think in that respect, these type of films work. And I think that's the strength. Her mom enjoyed it. That's awesome, Donna. That's very awesome.
I wonder Donna, what did she think of the end with her picture there? Well, as she's typing, I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
But that's part of the beauty of like having like Frank sets is, for my films, like, you can look at my films and see certain chapters where I only had outside, that I could film, or I only had like my cardboard, my one-piece cardboard where I couldn't move, where it was just the ready room that I'm in, where I could only look at the comm box, and now like I have sets where I can actually physically walk around and do stuff, where it's like I could pull the camera out and do stuff, and there's two people that can walk around, there have been times where I could visit the set. So you can look at my films and see the different degrees of where I was at. But with Frank, we can start off right off the bat and go, let's tell this on the bridge, or let's tell this in here. Like next week we're going to be doing the ready room in that film, and it's wonderful to get to create these characters and just do these dynamics right off the bat in different environments, rather than, okay, all these limitations I have. I feel less restrictive and creating the characters. It's you guys are in for a real big treat. Because like I said, we've already got mapped off for, almost a dozen films now that we have. You guys are in for a nice treat because his sets, like you said, look wonderful.
We also have, I want to add a new team that's going to be coming on board with the production of this. A couple people who have had some experience with heavy filmmaking and stuff like that, have some decent gear and stuff like that. And somebody who's going to be doing more mixing of the sounds. One of the most interesting things of this particular film, I don't know if you noticed it, Vance, but it got flagged.
Oh, what?
It got flagged because Lee used, and Lee does this, and I didn't realize it. Lee used an actual musical score. If you look under the show more, you're going to see music in this video. Pedro, Venus, The World, Jingle Punks, YouTube audio library, Captain Archer's Plan. So it got flagged for copyright.
Was it copyright strike or copyright claim?
It was a copyright strike for it. In other words, we don't monetize anyways, but it was
then it was a claim. Yeah,
it's a claim.
Oh, okay. If it's claim,
I saw that. So I just thought it was interesting.
Claims, I get claims all the time on all my films. That claims don't bother me. I mean, when you said strike, that copyright strike is concerning. Copyright claims, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so just really quick, Mage, what did you think of the film? Because Mage is kind of a newer participant here on NerdTube. I don't know if you guys have had too much camaraderie with him. Big Trekkie, and so he's been joining us recently for a lot of stuff. But he's also a Trekkie. He's been doing the reviews with us and stuff like that. So
nice. Welcome,
Mage, go ahead. You got the floor.
I really enjoyed the film from start to finish. Great music for the intro. Felt very true to Trek intros. CGI is very on point. And I like what you're doing with the humanized characters and the authentic kind of dialogue. People kind of being people instead of like stoic, heroic figures. The fact that your characters are willing to open up to each other and discuss these hard things is very enjoyable. I wish I had more context coming into it to know more about who these characters are and the more particulars of their situations, but I could care about them right off the rip because they were being authentic, and I feel they were written in a very authentic way. So hats off, Vance.
Well, I'm really glad. Well, I'll send you I'll send you the playlist if you're interested in watching more. If you
Absolutely.
enjoyed, because we have 125 episodes if you include everything we've done, which is all of Frank's stuff, all of my stuff, and it basically just it goes from like Cage era all the way to Star Trek, or all the way to like the 32nd century. And it's like, take your time, enjoy it. Because I mean, I get sick of my own stuff sometimes where it's like, oh my God, I can't, this fat man again. Oh my God.
We did a 4-hour marathon. That was fun.
Oh my God, it was long. But it's one of those things where like fan films aren't for everybody, but when you see the heart of the fans that go into it, and to me, I would much rather watch a fan film that has cardboard sets and wobbly, stuff made with just heart, where you can tell they love what they do.
You took the word out of my mouth. Your film has heart to it, and the passion that you feel for Trek shows through and through. Thank you.
That really does mean a lot, because that's That's all we go for. Like we love what we do. I mean, obviously we don't make money off it. We oftentimes lose money from, the job and, family when we go travel to like the sets or whatnot, and we do get there's replica of the bridge that we all go to and film when we do go on set, but it's, there are some action ones when we actually get to go do, the pew pew, some good. And I'll admit I've made some bad, but I'll send you, I'll yeah. It you just take the good with the bad, but I'll send you a playlist, and hopefully there's some there that you enjoy. But I think if you love just good classic Trek, films with heart, then I think you'll enjoy it. But I'm glad you enjoyed it tonight, man. And I think honestly next week, if you guys I think you'll enjoy that film a lot, because to me it's up there. It's good. So.
Well, one of the things that we try to do, if you notice, along the line is
I have to run really quick. I will be right back. You guys just keep going. Talk about whatever.
Sure.
You guys are good. You guys
Sure.
know how to do this.
My character has never been a heroic character. Even when I was doing Dreadnought Dominion, I was always the first episode of Dreadnought is where I come in, and the ship is going back into service after extensive damage from an ambush, and I have started off and continued a commander very filled with doubt about my abilities in a lot of ways. I'm not a James T. Kirk. I'm not a Picard. I don't want to be that type of person. I want to be, as you said, the human, make mistakes. I mean, gosh, I'm going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And that's where I think sometimes you see these, like Pike, and not Pike so much, but J.J. Abrams and stuff like that, with the, I'm 14 years old now, I'm captain of a starship, that's not the way
Doesn't work like that.
Well, that's one of the things that when I started doing fan films and creating my own, I pretty much, I started watching, and you have to see, watching everybody's fan film, you see kind of what works, what doesn't, and you have to see the good in the bad fan films, and you have to see the bad in the good fan films, because not every fan film is like the greatest film, and not everyone that is bad is, not everything's bad about it. You have to look to see, okay, where's the balance, and one thing that I noticed, because this was close to 9 years ago, are you talking about the Doctor Who poster behind Mage? Hell yeah, Doctor Who. Fuck yeah, I agree.
Doctor Who?
Oh yeah,
Doctor
Oh,
Who.
you.
Who's Doctor Who?
We need to have them on our channel so I can block them.
But one thing I noticed was everybody was doing like, okay, I'm going to be my version of Kirk, and I'm going to have my Vulcan science officer, and I'm going to have my cranky doctor, and we're going to have, and it was basically like everybody was their ripoff of the Enterprise, and I thought that's boring. Like, just tell original characters. Go out there, be fallible. Go be you 100%. Go be you cranked up to 100. And just go.
It's a big universe. It's a big universe in the Trek universe.
Exactly. Like, I mean, Cheeto can tell you. Like, he's watched enough of my films that about 90% of the Menard characters, me. I am a fat guy who eats pizza rolls, and if you watch the Menard films enough, he's a fat guy who eats pizza rolls. Like that. I mean. Dude, it is like everyone's like, why is he eating pizza rolls? I'm like, because I wanted to eat fucking pizza rolls. Like it's it's the only way I could get them into my films, because I'm fucking hungry and I'm not fed. So why not? But I mean, it's that's part of the beauty of doing these things, is like, go do you, be original, and that's that's one of the things that I love about doing these things, is you can make characters based on people, and that's why, like, if you have someone come up and they're kind of nervous because they're like, I've never acted before, it's like, don't worry about it, just be you, You know, it's you don't have to be your bad impression of Captain Kirk. Just go be you. You know,
Be you in a Trek uniform.
exactly. But anyway, gentlemen, I have to skedaddle. Royce is in the other room, and my wife is studying. She has finals this next week. But I want to say both of you, thank you for hosting this. Mage, it was wonderful meeting you, man.
Pleasure.
I will send Cheeto that link, and he'll forward you the information, man. I hope you find at least one or two good films that you like, man. And
Well,
you guys
I look forward to watching them, and it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
awesome. And feel free to shoot me a Facebook friend request. I don't bite. God damn you, Frank. You son of a...
Oh God.
Make him regret leaving.
You know, I have my knife up at the sets. I can't even pull that out.
Hey, bless your heart, Frank.
I know. Hey, I think I'm gonna use this one for what we were talking about instead of the other one.
Oh,
Oh Lord.
Ooh, very
Mirror
secretive.
Commandant.
Kevin Feige levels of secrecy here.
I think this one's better.
You look like the Blue Bonnet Lady.
The Blue Bonnet Lady.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Just
You
no.
still look like the Blue Bonnet Lady.
You look like the Blue Bonnet Lady trying to be undercover and failing miserably. You look
As
like a fucked up.
Santa.
Yeah, you look like a fucked up minion. Like, just stop, Frank. You're not ahead. Just no. Anyway, guys, it's a pleasure meeting you, Mage. I'll send you to that link. Feel free to send me a friend request. You know, I'll accept. But guys, next week you're more than welcome to do the other film if you want. Unless Frank says no. In that case, he's the bad guy. So.
Oh, of course, I have no problems with Cheeto or Mage. And you can also send me, I'm Frank Parker Nefarious Ferrets on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook.
I mean, if you go into my friends and you just look those two up, just look for the one with pizza rolls and the other one with a wig, and you found them.
Awesome.
I feel like we're nothing but memes now. It's like that weird, you know, you see the in the movie theater, you see the popcorn and next to the soda, you know, and that's me and Frank. We're a wig and a pizza roll. That's all we are, you know, right before no budget production. That needs to be our new screen thing, Frank.
The pizza roll has a Hawaiian punch hat on though.
That's it.
What I did though? It threw George off today when we were in here. I took our new logo of both of us together and I put it on the Frank Parker, so it's not the ferret anymore. So you and I had the same logo on our screens when we're in chat.
That must not be confusing at all.
You are very excited right now, and I am beside myself with joy. All right. On that note,
Listen,
leaving.
He's been trying to go for like 5 minutes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Here's the Vulcan.
So Frank, if you don't mind, I just have a couple questions for you. Typical stuff. I'm interested in. So how is this film like a start of a new chapter in like a new arc in the Grissom saga? I don't know what you call it, but like, is this just a continuation of?
It's more of a continuation because the last time you saw us, if you're at the end of Passenger with Baggage, you know, that's the inner connector was my old. I don't think Mage knows a little bit about my history. Originally, when I was in fan films back 10 years, 15 years ago, I was working with Farragut Films and I was building construction sets with them and stuff like that down in Kingsland and St. Mary's, Georgia. Well, since I was part of the construction team and, you know, was doing a lot of work, they allowed me to do my own production called Dreadnought Dominion. So Dreadnought Dominion was based on, and I'm not the type of person who does constellations. I was one of the first ones. I think I was the first one out there to do a dreadnought, and it was Dreadnought Dominion. And after 2 episodes, we had some things go down, and I left fan films for a while. Dreadnought continued, still out there. My good friends Gary Davis and Randy Wren are the showrunners now of that created series. However, when I came back, I said, well, I want to come back and I want to work with the Dreadnought again, but I know I can't come in and take over the ship again because first of all, they've been doing this since I left, and second of all, they threw me to Starfleet Academy as an admiral there. So I said, okay. So I said, what am I going to do? Well, we decided to do one episode, and I figured that'd be it. And I just come in and do cameos, and then the bug hit me again, and I said, I'm doing a spinoff. So CROSSROADS was born. We did a few things. I did a few things with Vance, but what we had planned to do is we did my pilot, but we did the passenger with baggage first. So my pilot runs into passenger with baggage, which is me coming onto the Dominion to have them transport me to my new command, and some of the backstory of why I left and how things would have gone if I hadn't left and stuff like that. So that's a real good episode to lead you in. Last thing you see me is my Vulcan wife and myself and my engineer. We're looking at the Harrison, and we're on our way. So this technically is the second episode. Now our pilot, passenger with baggage, the second episode of CROSSROADS, but the third episode in the saga so far, and that's now myself and my security officer are headed towards the Harrison after I believe we were on Lexington for some reason and going to there. So that it is a continuation, and the next one will be a continuation. Well, the next one that you're going to see next week is kind of a jump forward that we shot, but I think, as a matter of fact, next week I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a little bit of a different flavor.
Okay, looking forward to being here next week.
Yeah.
As you stated earlier, Vance wrote this episode. You directed it. Did you edit it, or did you hand it off to an editor? I can't remember.
Actually, Jason, I let direct this one.
Oh.
You see, I really believe in this. This is one of my things is everybody likes to be involved. And Jason came up and said to me, Frank, one of these days I'm going to want to direct. And I looked at him and I said, go ahead. I said, I have no problems with that. I said, we don't have ego. Well, some of us have egos in the bigger scheme of things, but for those of us who really have families for our crews, in other words, you become tight after a while, like a family. You work together, Yes. I mean, this isn't Hollywood where I can't touch the camera and you can't touch a set. We don't have SAG, laws or anything like that. Everybody does the work. So,
yeah.
I did theater in high school and as a young man, so that feeling of tightness between a cast and crew shows through in a production, and you can tell it's there with you guys.
Yeah, there's some blooper reels throughout. I don't know where to find them at on No Budget and FilkFerrett Productions site, but I mean, there's blooper things all over the place. I mean, if you go searching for that, that's like TikTok. Like you'll get in there and then you'll just keep going and going and going and going and just I mean, they're definitely a tight knit family, and they always look at and they always seem to have a great time doing it. And
we have more blooper reels than we have actual footage.
This is true. I told you, it's like TikTok. Like you go, there's like several scenes of the same thing, but it's like different things. I'm like, yeah, you kind of keep going. Okay, so and Mage, since this is kind of just like a three-way conversation here, like one of the things that I really do, I am not a Constitution class fan. I think the Constitution class is an ugly ship, and I think that it is not functionally feasible, and I think that Star Trek, not Into Darkness, Star Trek Beyond kind of showed us that. I don't think it's a well-functioning ship, like a design, and so that's why I love it, because like when you got Frank's ship, and you have the and I can't. What class is it again? Is it
It's
the
Gemini class. Yeah,
Gemini? Yeah.
That was another thing I said. I don't want to have a standard ship for my next series. So Gary Davis was trying to get me to do a Miranda class. I said, yeah, Miranda's are okay. I really, and then I was online and I was happened to go through, I don't know why I was on Star Trek Online, because the reason I don't play that is because I like to live and I don't want to be that skeleton at the end of the lifetime of sitting in front of that game for the rest of my life. And I went, that's what I want. And it was just, I said, that's it. It's gotta be a Gemini class. I don't care. You'll find out in my films, and I think you're going to find this in Vance's, what his earlier films and stuff like that. Canon to us is a little looser. And since I'm in an experimental ship, there's a lot of stuff that I go, well, if you don't like that, check another channel out.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, even with the Dreadnought class, I mean, like just not categorizing, cataloging those ships that just are not. Because I mean, I get it. In the original series, they had to use Constitution class all the time because they had to use the same model. They had like 2 models, I think. What it was. Yeah, like so. I mean, not in this day and age. It's like, okay, we can get a ton of different classes, and that's why I really
CGI. That's why. So
because I would say that the Dreadnought and the Gemini class are probably my 2 favorite from TOS era. Just by watching your guys' films.
Well, actually, the Destroyer, the Saladin, is an interesting design. It's just that one nacelle under it.
Yeah, that one's okay. I'm not a huge fan of single nacelle starships, but I mean, I always feel like if you want, and I get it, like if it's only a saucer section, getting symmetry, but I always feel like there should be at least 2 nacelles to kind of engulf, like the nacelle should at least be mostly out, be like at least right around the part of, or right around the perimeter of the saucer section, so it can push the warp field out around that.
Yeah,
so,
and the Harrison's got probably a warp signature that's tighter than a Dreadnought or Connie.
Yeah, I know it's very it's very it's very narrow and that's what I like about it. As I said, I mean, since knowing you guys, I've found a lot of TOS ships that just are really nice. Mage, before we kind of wrap things up, do you have any questions? Anything you want to ask Frank about? Or, I mean, he's a plethora of information.
Oh, what do you guys shoot with usually? Do you have a particular brand of camera or that you're particular to? Well then.
Yeah, they use
Can't
cell
Can't tell.
It's funny because when the other crew starts shooting, and we're going to be doing locations shooting and stuff like that, we'll probably have some heavier stuff. But everything so far that I've done. Well, actually, that's not completely true. We have also done a lot with this. And I have 2 on mine, and a lot of my green screens I do with Zoom.
Virtual background.
And I put the green screen behind me so I don't have to worry about that in post.
That's clever. That is very clever.
So it's just the biggest thing with green screens. And you notice it's so funny. This particular episode you just saw, we're on the bridge that I have built, put hours and hours in, and we've got it covered with green screen so we could make a shuttle.
I noticed that the consoles on the shuttle look like the front the con on.
Yeah,
I'm like, I almost said something. I'm like, is that the bridge set you built with green screen behind it? I'm like,
yes. Yeah, I mean, we had 2 humongous green screens. I mean, we shot that all on the bridge with green screen.
Hey, do with what you got. I'm pretty sure Paramount did with less. Like they made them do with less, even though they had the money.
Yeah,
you do more with less because, well, no budget.
Well, this room behind me is our conference room. I've got green screens ready to set. This will be our conference room when I finish. Upstairs in the house is the med bay. Then down in my mother-in-law's garage is that, yeah. So, you can make a fan film out of things you find at home.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, when you friend them on Facebook, definitely go into Frank's pictures. He's got and you saw, in the picture with his mother-in-law, on the set, like that is a legit set that Frank built himself. Go back and look in his photos, like you will see all of that is what he built. You'll see it from breaking ground all the way up through beeps and bops and boops.
I'm in the process of trying to catalog all that so I can make a small documentary on how to build it. That's what I think I'm going to, I think I'm going to title that, How to Build a Starship from the Things You Find at Home.
I would click on that.
I think I'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah. Remind me.
I thought you were going to use my phrase, the from ground break to beeps and bops and boops. That's what I'm going to call my Lifetime documentary.
There you go.
So anyway, okay. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? I mean,
I want to, welcome Mage to your channel, and I'm glad that you're working with him, and I do appreciate your constructive criticism because it's good. We could always do it better. And that's why we love for our fans to tell us, what do you think we can do better? Because if we can do something better, we're going to do it. But
hold on, I can get my British accent out. Hold on.
No, I don't. And I'm only kidding too, because I love him dearly. I do love him dearly.
All right. Well, with that all being said, everybody, thank you very much for joining us. Admiral Ferret, thank you very much for joining us. You did a fantastic fan film. Can't wait to see next week's. I don't know. I have to look and see what my schedule looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can make it to that one and we can do something like this, I'm all for it. I just have to see.
Yeah, Donna saying that Mage can send her. That's my wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. And you can send her a friend request too.
Awesome.
You'll find. I think I'm friends with all of them on my Facebook, so we can talk afterwards. Anyway. So another great installment in the no budget production line project. This is Project Gemini, correct? Like the line.
And just remember, it's No Budget Productions and FilkFerrett Productions.
Yes, I know. I always try to abbreviate it, and it just I know
it's a toughie. It's a toughie.
It's a mouthful. But anyway. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. As I said, if you're watching this on the rewind, link is in the description. Go support the original release. It helps them out a lot with the analytics. Give them a like, a comment, and just leave them some either positive feedback or constructive criticism, preferably both, because there's a lot to love in here. And then, as he said, as Frank said, everything has room for improvement. So with that all being said,
give us a thumbs down. At least I know that you watched it.
Feeds the algorithm either way.
Yeah, feeds the algorithm either way. That's right, Mage. Anyway, with that all being said, everybody, thank you very much for joining us. We will catch you guys in the next one. Catch you later.